I'm Ruth. Aguele. Let's begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has presented a 2021 budget proposal to the joint session of the National Assembly as presided by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan and the Speaker House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila. The budget proposal presented by the President is estimated 13.08 trillion naira for the 2021 fiscal year. The thrust of the 2021 budget, as announced by the President, is aimed at targeting ongoing projects, giving priority to the ones that most affect Nigerians.
And strengthen the resilience of the economy. The 2021 appropriation has, therefore, been themed the budget of economic recovery and resilience. It is expected to accelerate the pace of our economic recovery, promote economic diversification, enhance competitiveness, and ensure social inclusion.
The President charged ministries, departments and agencies on the need for revenue generation for economy sustainability. The President also urged the 9th Assembly to consider and approve the budget proposal before the end of the year 2020 and also pass the petroleum industry bill.
63.51 billion naira. B. Northeast Development Commission, 29.7 billion naira. C. National Judicial Council, 110 billion naira. D. Universal Basic Education Commission, 70.05 billion naira.
And the Senate, on its part, has mandated its Committee on Appropriations to ensure that senators get copies of the 2021 budget for second reading next week. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, announced this shortly after the budget was presented by President Muhammadu Buhari.
We would expect our Committee on Appropriations to work round the clock from today. We hope that they will be able to finish by the end of tomorrow or early Saturday, and then get these documents to our colleagues. We want to finish the second reading in 2 days, or where necessary in 3 days. That's the whole of the legislative week, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So papers will be provided for senators to indicate the day they want to make their contribution, whether it is Tuesday or Wednesday. Nevertheless, we feel that we should take the debate, the second reading of the PIB, on Tuesday, the upper week, 20th. So while we are working on the budget, they can be doing some side work, at least to keep the work on the PIB a little bit warm.
The totality of the Nigerian budget goes to benefit all Nigerians, irrespective of wherever you come from. If the power sector works, if infrastructure sector works, it works to the credit of all of us at the National Assembly and the Executive.
Well, the National Assembly has pledged expeditious consideration and passage of the 2021 appropriation bill of 13.08 trillion naira presented to a joint session of the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday. It is in tandem with the commitment of ensuring continuity of the January to December budget cycle. National Assembly correspondent Emir of Zaria reports that the laying of the document is in fulfillment of constitutional provisions.
The leadership of the bicameral legislature, in keeping with the resolve of partnership and cooperation with the executive in the economic sustainability and growth plan, diversification and social inclusion, considered the budget as critical. It noted and commended the proactive stance of the federal government in the fiscal estimate, which took into cognizance the economic and other indices due to the coronavirus pandemic. While acknowledging the diligence in the allocation of resources for developments, the National Assembly pointed to the need for governments to plug leakages and find additional sources of revenue. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, reiterated that nation building in the interest of all citizens remains a priority for the 9th National Assembly, stressing Thus, the budget, when effectively implemented, will energize the economy and improve the lives of citizens, which is why the National Assembly will not compromise on checks and balances.
As we are about to begin another fiscal plan, we shall be influenced by the desire to consolidate on our gains coming from the hard lessons of the pandemic and on the urgency of sustaining our diversification programs, not only because of the unpredictable nature of oil revenue, but because of recent uncertainties arising from the coronavirus. The National Assembly is again ready to pass the 2021 budget before the end of the year by the grace of God.
The Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, gave a reminder on events in the most part of 2020, which indeed proved the world as a single global community, with each part dependent on the other, and hopes the 2021 financial projection captured this reality.
We also promised to pass a budget that reflected our priorities: healthcare, education, public infrastructure, and the development of an economy that is less dependent on fossil fuels and gives to all Nigerians the ability to achieve their dreams, equal to their effort and commitment.
The President, during the presentation of the budget estimates, appreciated the harmonious relationship between the two arms of government. The second reading of the 2021 Appropriation Bill is slated for next week to pave way for MDAs to appear before relevant committees for budget defense. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
All right, joining me in the studio now to speak more on the 2021 budget presentation by the President is Mr. Yusufu Aliyu. He's an economist. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I saw you reacting to the reports just played now, but let's get your full reaction looking at the estimates and projection for the projection for the 2021 budget.
In the first instance, it is an ambitious budget. Okay. It is an ambitious budget because when you look at what we went through in 2020 budget.
We're still in 2020.
No, when we look into what transpired, that is the revised version of the budget, you have seen that there has been some changes because of the economic uncertainties that appears. So, but what I'm looking at the content of the budget and also the basic features of the budget. But the title of the budget, Economic Recovery with Resilience. Yes. So when resilience is mentioned, it appears that everybody, his hand must be on table to look at what the economy is looking. Rural communities, rural economies cannot work without power, and that is why when I saw power, then it shows that there is some hope in trying to put the economy to work again, especially looking at the global recession that is coming slowly. It is coming slowly because there was low in production. Remember, President highlighted the controversies of COVID-19 in all economies of the world. Taking Nigeria as a case study, you realize that the oil production was on 1.8 million, but the prices is down because of the slow in economic activity around the globe.
But the President also said in his speech that the COVID-19 was also the pandemic was put into consideration in preparing the budget. And if we're looking at what the World Bank has predicted, a 3% contraction in African economy, henceforth, what impact do you think this will have?
The contraction is significant. It will be significant to all economies because most effort that is going to put by African economies has to do with other economies outside the continent, because Nigeria relies solely in sales of this crude oil, and at the same time there is low internally generated revenue, and that is why Mr. President was putting more emphasis on the revenue generating agencies and how these revenues can come and assist. Remember, the budget has a very serious deficit, above 4 trillion. So when you have a budget that is having a very serious deficit as a result of deficit in infrastructure, the President also emphasized infrastructure company, where effort will be put to make sure that contraction is being narrowed.
Okay, and the benchmark oil price was put at $40 per barrel. But the most important thing in all of this is the implementation. Even though we know the budget has been reversed to the January-December cycle, what is the feasibility of implementation looking at the 2021?
When you mention implementation, the first thing is you have to build a relationship between arms of government in order for this thing, for budget to work. The executive, I'm happy that there has been budget. We have been calling for budget retreat, and today we have a situation where the executive and the legislatures understood their responsibility as far as budget is concerned. So we are not expecting any rancor that will arise, and we are not expecting what Mr. President usually tag as padding to come into the budget. What we are expecting is a speedy action by the National Assembly, and at the same time, the executive has to also make emphasis on releases. I am happy that when you look at the performance of 2020 budget, this is the first time in many years that first quarter was attended. It was attended in capital releases. So when we continue to have capital releases at early stage of the budget, then there is possibility of implementing a serious percentage of the budget, because you cannot just sit down and say you are expecting 100% performance of a budget because of a lot of uncertainties because it is just a projection of income and then projection of expenditure, and in between you have a lot of lacunas that may come directly within the economy or outside the economy. But looking perfectly into budget 2021, you're looking at the medium-term expenditure framework that was presented, looking at the commitment from the National Assembly, and looking about the seriousness of the executive in trying to put all MDS into order in an attempt to speed recovery. Remember the title of the budget recovery. We need serious effort to recover.
Okay, let me take your word there. Economic recovery and resilience, that's the theme. Let's hope that the projection is fully achieved. Thank you very much, Mr. Yusufu Aliyu.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
All right, and of course, looking at projection, you need good sight, and there is hope in sight for 1 billion visually impaired persons globally, as the 2020 World Sight Day makes case for, the incorporation of eye care into universal health coverage. Uche Oguchukwu tells us more about this international observance.
2019 World Health Assembly's report shows that 2.2 billion people worldwide are visually impaired or blind due to diseases like diabetes, trachoma, or conditions such as refractive error, cataract, or glaucoma. Between 2005 and 2007, Nigeria conducted a national blindness and visual impairment survey, which indicates the national burden of the blind or visually impaired across all ages is 0.78% high. However, most of the conditions are preventable with the right care.
We need to go check our eyes annually, particularly after the age of 40, because we can never know if we have it. Glaucoma would not even cause pain. It won't give you any visible sign that it's around or it's in the eye. It will just be there silently, taking off the optic nerve fibers gradually until a point where the individual cannot see anymore.
Predominantly, most victims are rural dwellers and lack access to eye care or knowledge on how to address the challenge.
If government will bring eye health services into universal health care and vis-a-vis primary health care, what it means is that government will open up these areas for us, rural areas, and eye services will be accessible to most of the population. We've been trying to, one, reduce quackery, and then increase services, and then also create awareness.
World Sight Day is marked on second Thursday of October yearly. Uche Oguchukwu, NTA News.
Lagos will be our first stop on Nationwide as we join Aguele to guide us. Aguele?
Thank you, Ruth. A major calamity occurred today at about 5:45 a.m. in Lagos when a gas tanker exploded while dispensing product at a station on Kandos Road in Barua, Ipaja. 8 lives were lost, several persons injured, with many businesses and residential buildings destroyed. Becky Madujemu reports.
Most residents of Baruwa, a suburb in Ipaja, Lagos, reveals that panic started when the intense odor of gas pervaded the atmosphere, even in their homes.
When this incident started around 2:05, we called the emergency number 112 for more than 30 minutes. They could not answer us.
Many who predicted a looming disaster acted fast.
I was trying to escape with my own children. Before I don't run like, let's say 5 meters before I hear Boah.
I heard the noise, and the noise was so heavy. My husband was saying it's rain. I said it's not rain. The whole place was, when we came to see it, what I saw, I was crying.
While the gas was being discharged, generator was on. While the generator was on, the situation the premises became tensed up. With the little leakage from the discharge process, it ignited fire. And it was when we got the information, we started deploying, mobilizing resources.
The explosion produced heartbreaking fatalities.
5 people have been confirmed dead. 8 were rescued alive. Among the 8 were 3 who are a family member, the mother and 2 children.
Survivors with varying degrees of injuries are receiving treatment at the Bagada Hospital Burns Unit. In terms of property, 25 houses were damaged, 10 of which emergency agencies classified as severely affected. 16 shops were torched. A private school and a hotel now bear the impact.
My sister's shop is there that's selling wine beside the filling station. We did not even see any pin dying like this to take outside.
Also affected were a pickup truck, a tricycle, and a motorcycle.
But we knew this kind of event will eventually happen.
They alerted me that there is another one under construction, and immediately I called the town planning authority.
We know that it's going to take adequate steps at the House Assembly to regulate all this. Once all those ones are passed now, with the fiscal planning, we'll be ready now to enforce.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Olufemi Oke Osoitolu, in a statement, enjoins residents to report unsafe practices within their neighborhoods to the relevant rescue agencies. The statement adds that precautionary measures, including issuance of contravention notices and sealing up of premises, will be implemented to prevent further disasters. In Lagos, Becky Madujemo, NTA News.
The federal government is exploring areas of comparative advantage in the non-oil sector in a bid to expand business opportunities and secure the interests of investors ahead of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nasuru Gwarzo, stated this in a message to a workshop on improvement of business enabling environment and industrial growth in Lagos. Michael Olale reports.
Climbing 15 spots up the index ladder of the ease of doing business in 2019 proved Nigeria's commitment to the promotion of trade and inflow of investments. With COVID-19 paralyzing global economies, Nigeria is adjusting its diversification reforms to reduce poverty, create wealth, and stimulate economic growth. The mandate before this forum, therefore, is to increase the capacity of staff and other stakeholders on how best to deliver government's economic reforms.
It is expected that sooner than later, Nigeria will have a better, simpler regulation for businesses and stronger protections of property rights, especially in the area of enforcing contracts, resolving insolvency, starting a business, registering property, paying taxes, and trading across borders, taking cue from the World Bank reform activities undertaken for the ease of doing business.
One of the areas of interventions the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is focusing on is increasing opportunities in the non-oil sector aside energizing post operations for efficiency.
But if we are able to achieve time, reducing the time of clearing goods and possibly the simplicity of documentation which the customs service are working on, we will be able to make our port competitive. And therefore, Nigerian port will be a hub in the whole of West Africa.
our key mandate in economic diversification actually has to do with the promotion of special economic zones, as well as the creation of special agro-processing zones where we are beginning to forward integrate agriculture.
The workshop, which will cover the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, began from Nasarawa State. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
It's time for a break. Nationwide continues shortly.
ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة.
The national chairman, Jama'atu Izalatul Bid'ah wa Iqamatis Sunnah, Jibwis, Nigeria, Sheikh Imam Dr. Abdullahi Balalau, on behalf of the Executive Council, cordially invite the general public to the foundation laying ceremony of Assalam Global University, Hadejia, Jigawa State. Date, Sunday, 11th of October 2020. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, Assalam Global University, Hadejia Permanent Site, Kilometer 7 Kano Road, Hadejia. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chairman of the occasion, His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar CFR, Sultan of Sokoto. Guests of honor, all serving and former governors. Distinguished guests, all serving and former ministers, senators and honorable members of the National Assembly. Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Adamu Abubakar Maji, CON, Emir of Hadejia and Chairman, Council of Emirs, Jigawa State. Chief Host, His Excellency Alhaji Muhammad Badr Abubakar, MON, Governor of Jigawa State and Chairman, Presidential Committee on Non-Oil Revenue. Host, Sheikh Imam Dr. Abdullahi Balalau, National Chairman, Jibwis, Nigeria. Be part of this historic moment.
والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم.
Candidates who applied for admission into Ahmadu Bello University NTA TV College degree program in mass communication for 2020-2021 academic session are invited to a post-UTME and direct entry screening exercise scheduled as follows. Date, 15th to 17th October 2020. Venue, NTA TV College premises, Rayfield, Jos. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Screening fee, 2,000 naira, paid through the remitter platform in any commercial bank in favor of NTA TV College, Jos. Eligible candidates are those who indicated NTA TV College as their first choice and scored 180 and above in the 2020 UTME examination. Candidates are expected to come along with the originals of their O-level certificates, JAMB slips, birth certificates, indigenship certificate and proof of payment. Direct entry candidates are expected to come along with their original diploma certificates, A-level results in addition to the other credentials mentioned above. Shortlisted candidates without O-level results will not be cleared by JAMB. Therefore, all candidates are advised to visit any JAMB office or accredited CBT center nearest to them to upload their O-level results. Wearing a face mask is compulsory for admittance into the college premises, in addition to strict observance of other COVID-19 safety protocols. Announcer, Registrar.
Thanks for staying tuned. The recent downward trend in the activities of terrorists, armed bandits, cattle rustlers and illegal oil bunkers across the nation has been attributed to sustained onslaught against criminal elements by troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Coordinator of the Defense Media Operations, Major General John Eneche, made the disclosure during a media briefing in Abuja. Let's get the more details from Francis Fong.
The gallant troops also recovered 2 magazines, 36 rounds of 7.6.
Acting on credible intelligence, Major General John Eneche disclosed that troops of Operation Hadarin Daji and Thunder Strike arrested 4 suspected armed bandits along Sheme Kankara Road in Kankara local government area of Katsina State. The suspects are now in custody as investigations continue.
Following artillery bombardments on suspected bandits' location at Unguandoka village, which resulted in killing 4 of the bandits. Preliminary investigation revealed that the kidnapped victims have been in captivity for 12 days. All rescued victims have been reunited with their families.
Coordinator of the Defense Media Operations added that in the Northeast Zone, troops also conducted clearance operations, aggressive patrols, and intelligence surveillance reconnaissance missions, air offensive operations, as well as artillery and aerial bombardments, while successfully neutralizing 3 Boko Haram fighters and recovering some arms and ammunition.
Troops arrested a Nigerian who is a member of BHT, arms logistics supplier, close to an IDP camp in Diffa region of Niger Republic. The military high command commends the troops and encourages the good people of the zone to continue to avail the troops with information that will assist them in the operation.
He concluded that a joint team from the Nigerian Navy Ship Pathfinder, Forward Operating Base Bunny, and troops of 146 Battalion also rescued 5 kidnapped foreign expatriates abducted in May. In Abuja, Francis from NTA News.
In a related development, the new subsidiary air interdiction operation tagged Kashimugu 2 of the air component of Operation Thunderstrike has hit some bandits' camps and neutralized scores at the hideouts in the forest and border areas of Kaduna State. A statement by the coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters, Major General John Eneche, says the airstrikes were executed at Camp Alpha in Kwi Ambana Forest, as well as Fadamang Kanauta and Janbirni after credible human intelligence reports and series of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions established that the locations were being used by the bandits as staging areas to store their logistics, hide rusted cattle and launch attacks, and the airstrike at Kwiambana Forest was undertaken after an ISR aircraft spotted 4 clusters of huts where the armed bandits reside. The Nigerian Air Force jets and attack helicopters dispatched by the air component recorded successful hits in the target area, taking out some of the bandits. In the same vein, at Fadamang, Kanauta and Jambirni, the NAF attack aircraft took turns in strafing the target areas, leading to the neutralization of several of the bandits as well as damage of their dwellings. The Armed Forces of Nigeria wishes to thank all Nigerians for their support and encourages the general public to continue to provide useful information that will facilitate its operations to restore peace and security to all affected parts of the country. Are you aware that there was a heavy traffic gridlock at Wuse and Bega roundabout Thursday morning here in Abuja as members of the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria were trying to converge for a protest? Cassio Mayor reports that security operatives were on alert to disperse them while some were arrested.
The group, which came out in clusters at Wuse, Bega and Utako areas of the FCT simultaneously, were not given the chance to converge due to heavy security presence. Eyewitnesses who declined to speak on camera to NTA crew said the group were seen throwing stones at members of the Nigerian police force as they were dispersed with tear gas. However, some of the alleged cheered members, mostly teenagers who were trying to escape, were arrested by police officers who mounted surveillance at strategic locations. As at the time of filing this report, there was no comment yet, as the police was still on the lookout for the shared members trying to escape, while those arrested were taken to the command as well as divisional headquarters Wuse 2. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Now a look at electoral matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission has distributed sensitive election materials to the 18 local government areas of Ondo State for Saturday's election. Doris Olumoko tells us more.
From air security surveillance to ground policing, the security personnel were on ground to forestall any eventuality as INEC officials distributed sensitive election materials to electoral officers of each of the 18 local government areas of Ondo State. The materials, according to INEC contained customized ballot papers for each of the local government areas to resist manipulation.
The result sheet runs down from ECNA polling unit result sheet, which is customized to that unit, and the ECHB registration result sheet for collation at registration, customized to that registration area as well.
As a matter of fact, one key thing that they just discussed with us is about the signature of the REC from ECHB and from ECHCs, and that one is being done by REC now right away, and that's what really happened in Edo State. And we are happy that that one is being replicated here in Edo State.
We think that's an improvement in the way to go about it, and that we have arrangement for seamless distribution without delays.
And the distribution is done in the full glare of everybody. Nothing is tampered with. I think they are doing very, very well.
The materials are being moved to each of the 18 local government areas for Saturday's governorship election. In Akure, Doris Ulumoko, NTA News.
Well, the Department of State Services wishes to assure the public and stakeholders in the Ondo governorship election scheduled for 10th October 2020 of its preparedness for the exercise. In a statement, the Service Public Relations Officer, Dr. Peter Afunaya, says the service will not only partner with sister security agencies, but support the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure a hitch-free Gaba election. It also enjoined its personnel to remain professional while discharging their duties. The service therefore urges all players in the electoral process to abide by the rules of the game. Persons and groups that may wish to engage in violent activities leading to breakdown of law and order are advised to desist from such devious plans or be ready to face the full wrath of the law. And away from electoral matters, as the world battles challenges occasioned by COVID-19 and its impacts on the economy and social well-being of the people, different organizations have continued to laud the developmental strides of the federal government. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the latest group to commend federal government in keeping the economy afloat and sustain rebuilding efforts is the APC Ambassadors for Good Governance.
The process of stabilizing cardinal platforms in sustaining the nation's survival efforts during and after the pandemic is a consensus judgment by the group in view of the milestone development and other interventions achieved. APC Ambassadors for Good Governance pointed out landmarks in areas of rail, road, health, education, security, agriculture, and several financial interventions as notable achievements in the nation's history.
As an appraisal hub of the APC-led administration of President Muhammadu Buhari's government, we shall continue to enlighten Nigerians and Africans on the numerous achievements of the present administration, which has been highly underreported, especially in the areas of railway system, Second Niger Bridge, CBN agri-development packages through NESRAL, anchor borrowers, and so many other windows of opportunities to ease businesses and cushion the effect of global pandemic across the nation.
The group appeals for strengthening of internal democracy and rule of law and the unity of party men and women for the victories of APC in the forthcoming Ondo election and other future elections in the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Right, let's bring you COVID-19 updates. Latest figures from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control shows 155 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria, as the total number of confirmed cases rise to 59,738. In the breakdown of this 155 new cases, Lagos State recorded 84, Rivers 31, Kaduna 12, Osun 10, the FCT has 7, Oyo 6, Ogun 3, while Kwara has 2 new cases. Lagos leads in the NCDC case chart with 19,776 cases. Next comes is the FCT with 5,765, while Plateau follows with 3,498. 51,403 patients have so far been discharged and 1,113 deaths recorded so far. Well, the services been rendered by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has been singled out for commendation for effective service delivery. Savicom, in its 2020 Customer Service Week, gave the commendation to inspire other service providers in the country. Let's get more details from Ikechukundukwe.
Lives were lost while delivering services to Nigerians during the heightened period of COVID-19, a situation that prompted the Servicom to single out the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and all medical personnel who worked with the task force for commendation.
Federal Executive Council team, I want to wish them happy customer service. We have other presentations that we follow. For instance, we will go to those offices to also drop a letter commending them for their honest efforts and also appreciating all the work, all the efforts, sleepless nights.
The outcry of the public on alleged poor service delivery from the police force is one the Servicom is considering to instill service charter in the organization to improve positive outcomes.
The service taker also engages and says, bail is free, I will not pay anything. And they implement it using from the CEOs that drive these police posts and police stations. If this is truly implemented, then the story will be different. And that's the intention of government.
Servicom intends to institutionalize its operations in states of the Federation while urging the public to watch out for poor service delivery in any agency of government and report same to Servicom for prompt action. In Abuja, Ikechukundukwe, NTA News.
The gesture of one of the leading humanitarian organizations, World Food Programme, in collaboration with the federal government, will remain indelible on the minds of 60,000 persons who benefited from the cash and food assistance to the rural poor in Kano. The distribution of the items, adjudged to be transparent and effective, is aimed at reducing the effect of COVID-19 among the most vulnerable. Let's get more details from Fatima Sanusi Karai.
Coronavirus pandemic has imposed a sudden shift and affect all aspects of people's life, leaving both immediate and long-term effects on health and socio-economic status of the most vulnerable, with 80% of these households having less income than before. The World Food Programme intervention, in collaboration with the federal government, is therefore a collective response to tackle the negative food security, particularly those living in the urban areas.
Sale is believing from the World Food Programme distribution of food items from house to house.
This is such a critical thing to do, to make sure that the vulnerable are getting it, and to have our eyes on it, and to be sure that it's working the way that we intended it to.
We targeted individuals 4 or 5 months ago, and from then on, that process was vetting, making sure that the right benefit is received by the right individuals.
Khadija Abubakar and Malam Suleiman, who are petty traders, are among the 60,000 beneficiaries of the Food and Cash Initiative.
They gave us cash, 11,000. We thank you.
I'm so happy. This money will help me. To minimize the risk of exposure to coronavirus, the donor engages the services of tricycle operators to deliver the items to various destinations. The initiative is being funded by World Food Programme in collaboration with federal government to the tune of $4 million for both grains and cash. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
Well, civil servants have been urged to always be punctual to duty and do their assigned duties diligently for greater productivity. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel gave the charge while declaring open a 5-day capacity building training for senior civil servants in the state. Charity James reports.
Training and retraining of workers has remained one of the important areas of attention of government and the present administration, Akwa Ibom State inclusive. The next in the series is a 5-day capacity building retreat for grade level 13 to 17 senior cadet civil servants in Akwa Ibom State. The retreat, which is organized by the state government through Office of the Head of Civil Service, is a train-the-trainer workshop aimed at transforming the state civil service for better.
This has been a unique experience because more or less what I see here is like linking the spiritual to what we do and then motivating us to perform.
Declaring the retreat open, Akwa Akwa Ibom State Governor, represented by Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Emmanuel Ekuwem, advised participants to take the retreat seriously as learning is inevitable for competence and quality service delivery.
Change mindset away from what used to be in the past. So this state is your state. Have a stake in it. I implore you to make good use of this unique capacity building training with rapt attention and acquire the necessary skills, knowledge, and attitudes for greater efficiency in service.
The retreat, which had resource persons from Jesse Quality Management Limited, had over 55 participants in attendance, while the next set of 55 will take their turn next week. In Uyo, Charity James, NTA.
All right, the new Emir of Zaria, Ambassador Nuhu Bamali, has urged the people of Zaria Emirate Council to embrace peace and foster lasting relationship that will promote massive infrastructural development and sustainable growth. While the Emir was speaking immediately after his ascension to the throne of his forefathers.
To the people of Zaria is to come together so that we can move, the city, forward. The late Emir did excellently well in the last 45 years, and my appeal to everybody now is to support me and also the Emirate Council so that we can all, come together as one entity and then move forward. Yeah, absolutely. The last time my family was there as we were there as the emirs in Zaria was 100 years ago when my grandfather Aliyu Dansidi was deposed and taken to Lokoja, and since then no member of the family was able to make it to the position. So it is a great day to us all, in the family and also to the people of Zaria. And I believe, quite a number of people will agree with me, because of the number of people that came out today to rejoice with us, not only our family, but the entire city was in celebration mood. So I was very pleased with that, and I hope this will continue. I've been appealing to them since the announcement that we should all come together as one entity, one family, so that we can build a society, so that we can all, support our people, so that we can ensure that our people, benefit from our wealth of experience and, the manpower that we have here in Zaria. We're one family because, for me personally, I am close to, all the families. Like for the Bari dynasty, my grandmother, came from that family. So I see them as one family. And then for the Kazanawa dynasty, I'm married to, the daughter of the late Emir. So I don't see them, any different from my own, immediate family. So my prayer to them and appeal to them, is to come together because we are one, and I don't want any division, in terms of rivalry, dynastic rivalry. That is what we've been fighting over the years, and the late Emir tried very much in that regard, and I want to build on the foundation he has already laid. So I have requested quite a number of them, to please come, and I'm going to reach out to all the contenders, to see how we can all, close our differences, close our,
Ambassador Bamali is the second emir from the royal house of Malawa after 100 years of the family rulership of the Zazzau Emirate. All right, I'm sure you want to know people paying allegiance to the new emir. Let's head to Kaduna, and Amina will guide us. Amina?
Appointment of the new Emir of Zazzau, some ruling houses and council members have paid allegiance to the new Emir. signaling their readiness to close ranks with him in moving the Emirate Council forward. Sagir Mohammed Awal reports that the new Emir, Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, pledged to consolidate on the successes of his immediate predecessor and appealed for support.
It has been an established tradition for contenders to the throne to pay homage and bear allegiance to whoever emerges as the new emir. This played out when some contenders from various ruling houses in Zazzau Emirates took turn to congratulate the new emir and pledged allegiance to him. This development signaled cordial working relationship between the new emir and the district heads, as well as members of Zazzau Emirate Council, who believe that coming together as one big family will help in repositioning the council to meet the yearnings and aspirations of its people.
We will try our all possible best to achieve all what he wants to achieve by the grace of God.
The Emirate is very large, so with a due cooperation from various houses, he will carry everything simultaneously without any hitches along the way.
Wish the new emir long life, prosperity during his reign.
Meanwhile, Emir of Zazzau, Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, has been speaking on the need to consolidate on the successes recorded by running all-inclusive administration.
I have been calling on all my brothers that contested, for this coveted position, to come together so that we can continue to build on the foundation, laid by our predecessors.
It has been a beehive of activities at the Emir's palace as people from all walks of life troop in to pay homage. In Zaria, I'm Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
Governor Muhammadu Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State has made a case of states with high poverty level to be given special consideration when it comes to allocation of natural resources. This was during a meeting with a team from the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission in Dusi. Awal Muhammad Kazauri has details.
The Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission team visit Jigawa State as part of the Commission's sensitization drive towards the review of the national allocation formula in line with current realities. Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar described their tour as timely owing to the fact that the economy of the country is facing serious challenges. He advised for more diversified economy, giving prominence to agriculture and industrialization as the way out.
Local economy will not be developed without support from the present allocation that we get. I don't know how Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission will do this, but I believe those states that have very, very large poor and vulnerable people should be considered somehow.
We want to inculcate the idea of maintaining credible data among the stakeholders, both at state and local government level.
While in Jigawa, the team met with relevant stakeholders to get their input on the proposed revenue allocation formula. From Duse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja.
All right, let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
You desire to upscale your skills and capacities for better productivity? Then you need to attend the following courses organized by NTA TV College, Jos, Archival Management System in the Broadcast Media, date 12th to 30th October 2020. Photojournalism and Photography, date 19th to 30th October 2020. English Grammar and Pronunciation for Broadcasters, date 26th October to 20th November 2020. Protocol Event Management and Public Relations, date 2nd to 13th November 2020. Intermediate Camera Operation Techniques, date 2nd to 13th November 2020. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills, date 16th to 27th November 2020. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant, while the fee for other courses is 80,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College, near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Yes, that's the painful effect of what corruption costs you. But what does corruption cost us all? Watch Bad Guys on NTA Network, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every Wednesday from the Akin Fadeyi Foundation. Bad Guys. Who are the bad guys? Join us.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring great personalities from all walks of life. Expository interview with a young TV presenter who shows passion on what she does, Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. Pick a copy of this compendium of mind-blowing stories and get abreast with issues as regards media convergence, leadership, health, star profiles, star programs, fashion, sports, human angle stories, and lots more. Meet some media professionals within our space who have paid their dues in no small ways. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative, and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Thanks for your time with us. Smallholder farmers in Umenichi and Umahia North local government areas of Abia State have been trained on methods of engagement in the Young Co-Borrowers program of the federal government to boost production of farm produce. The training in 2 local government areas attracted more than 5,000 participants. Let's get the details from Steve Lonai Wankolo.
Address Nigeria's negative balance of payments on food and assist smallholder farmers to boost the production of farm produce, the federal government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, established the Anchor Borrowers Program in 2015. The thrust of the Anchor Borrowers Program is to provide farm inputs by way of soft loans to boost the production of some identified farm produce, such as rice, cassava, beniseed, amongst others. Consultants, including Dr. Chidia Madwekwe, who is the anchor of the program in the state, speak on the significance of queuing into the agricultural program of the federal government.
As a government political appointee, I have to ensure that I cascade the policies of government, particularly to my state, to Nigerians as a whole. So all that combined brought about what were witnesses today.
It works in a way that we gather organized farmers, group them into what we call smallholders farmers. Smallholders farmers are the people that the CBN depend upon for production.
To granulate it and use it to produce feed for animals.
It is the expectation of the federal government that the Anchor Borrowers Program will address challenges of food production and ensure food security in the country. In Umuahia, Steve Lonai Waukulu, NTA News.
And Sokoto will be our last stop as we join us now for more reports.
Thank you, Ruth. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Religious leaders in Kebbi State have been urged to continue to promote peace, unity, as well as engage youth through preaching on the need to sacrifice the pleasure of the present to gain their future. The governor of the state, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, stated this at a meeting with the Council of Ulama in Birnin Kebbi. Osman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
Hosting members of the State Council of Ulama, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu informed them that the meeting is to intimate them on his statewide tour to places affected by flood, stressing the need to offer special prayers and advise those living along the river banks to relocate to safer places. He also urged the ulama to preach peace and unity, especially on the Nsake and other tribes' crisis in Zulu Emirate. Governor Bagudu equally said his administration will ensure more support to farmers in this year's dry season farming. The chairman of the Council of Ulama, Sheikh Abdurrahman Isa Jiga, assured the governor that the council will sustain prayers for the continued peace and tranquility in the state and the nation. A member of the council, Sheikh Aliyu Laddabunza, solicited for more assistance from the state government to cushion the effect of the recent flooding. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Zamfara State Government has donated 10 trucks of assorted foodstuffs to victims of flood in Gumi local government area of the state. Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Nasiru Ma'azu Magaria, who delivered the items to the affected communities, said more measures are being put in place to mitigate the effect of the disaster across the state. Sadia Abubakar Tuno has more.
The recent flood disaster that destroyed hundreds of houses, farmlands and bridges in several communities in Gumi local government area of Zamfara has subjected the victims to untold hardship. This prompted Zamfara State Government to donate more than 10 trucks of food items to the affected communities as part of effort to ease their suffering. Speaker Zamfara State House of Assembly, Nasiru Ma'azu Magaria, who went round all the affected communities, described the incident as devastating. He, however, expressed government readiness to take more proactive measures aimed at mitigating the effect of the disaster.
I want to call fully the attention of the peoples to use these items judiciously.
The member representing the area at the State House of Assembly, Abdul Nasir Ibrahim, expressed happiness over the quick response by the state government. The special advisor to Zamfara State Governor on Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Faika Ahmed Sani, assured equitable distribution of the items to the victims.
We had arrangements with the World Bank. They're coming in to build some houses for us, 10,000 houses to be exact. So some of the houses have already been assigned to this area as a result of what happened.
The donated items include 10 trucks of assorted grains, 500 cartons of pasta, among others. In Gusau, Sadia Abubakar Tuno, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. Ruth, is back to you.
Many thanks, Ismail. And that's it for us on Nationwide today. We do appreciate your company with us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And remember to be a star. Connect with NTA and stand against rape. I'm Ruth. Aguele. Bye.